Hi guys, this next guest of mine, I got to meet her in New York, and we came together through coffee. Uh, and my next guest is Yil. How you doing, Yil?
We're doing pretty good, pretty good.
Well, you and I didn't really talk a lot, or didn't really get to know each other really well in New York, but I feel like coffee connected us really, really nice, and it feels like we already know each other.
True.
Yeah, so I just want
I
to.
had the opportunity to meet your wife, Sandra, she was a really nice person as well. And we just met in New York in the coffee in the latte art pretty much coffee fest in New
Yeah,
York. Was such a great experience. I think it's my first time in the New York one. I got the opportunity to like follow you ahead of time and just like engage by social media. And I think social media opened a huge spectrum like to know other people, and that's how I pretty much met him online, and then we just like met in person. And was such a nice experience.
yeah. I mean, you said it was your first time in New York for Coffee Fest, right?
Yeah, so I always go the one in October, which is coffee festival
Yeah,
in October. But it was my first time in the one is like in the beginning of the semester of the year.
yeah.
So the coffee fest was my first time, and I always like trying to go to different events around US. Trying to meet other people who share the same passion as me. And obviously, it's so great to like meet other baristas or other roasters which are Latino as well. We just like come along really, really well.
Yeah, I mean, it was my first time in New York too. I'm
Oh,
from
really?
I'm from LA, and I usually wait for the LA Coffee Fest to come over. But this year, we decided to travel to New York and experience something new.
Right, New York. I think New York have like a different vibe because it's a lot of people and they come up like brothers and sisters. And I think that's a really like blessing of the community that we can just go alone and we don't even like met for a really long time and we just become like, hey, you know something that I can share your ideas or like share knowledge as well. And I think that's really great of the specialty coffee
Yeah,
community, especially like in New York, because the niche is so like dense and it's a lot of people there who like have years and years and years of no like experience as baristas or roasters, and it's such great like for us come up there for the first time and feels like we're at home because they make you feel like you're at home.
exactly. I know people there they're really friendly and full of life, So they really made us feel at home. So for me, going to New York, it was mostly to try to compete at the latte art competition
Yeah.
because I work as a barista, and so the whole idea was to go and travel and see the and get to know New York as a tourist because I never been. But the main focus was to try to compete at latte art competition, which I didn't get the chance to do. But tell me, tell me about how is it that you end up in Coffee Fest?
So pretty much I'm a barista as well. I'm working here in I live in Maryland, so pretty much I was living in Florida, then I moved to Maryland, and I just started working in different coffee shops around. And I was like, let me go there because I think it's the right time to go,
Yeah,
and it feels nice. And I just pretty much I it's like 5 hours drive from here to New York, from home to New York, and I'm like, well, let's just do it for once, and yeah, that's how I end there. I asked for my boss to few days off. I just like 2 days like a tourist, and then the rest of the days as a barista. And that's how I just get to New York. Because I really like events. I have the opportunity to go to SCA expos and like different events access in California, and I have the experience to go there and just like learn or take some classes, but I didn't have the experience to go to a place, a coffee event, and just be there. You know, you
nice.
always come like, hey, I need to take some classes, I need to take this or that. And you always go with a straight purpose. For me, this time was about, well, I'm not competing because I'm not that great in latte art. uh, the much I can do is like 10 stack tulips. That's all.
That's a lot more
Um,
than I can do.
oh my gosh, it's so hard. And I was like, well, just go there. And after I already have booked everything, I know my boys, Gerald and Henry, was going there because we just connect by social media as well. And I was like, let's just do it. And
Yeah.
then that's how I end at the New York Coffee Fest. And was such a good experience.
Did you drive to New York?
No, so basically, they have like this mega bus. It's like a school bus who
Yeah.
drives you there and have AC and a restaurant and everything, and it's
Nice.
pretty cheap actually. I just spent like $40 round trip.
Wow. That's really
Yes,
good.
so cheap. Yeah. Yeah, from here, Maryland is a really good location because you can go to Philly in 2 hours, you can go to New York in 4 hours. So you can have these like big areas you can just go there.
Nice.
And pretty affordable, which is good.
Yeah, it's amazing. Well,
Yeah.
another thing I didn't really know about you is that you're an actual barista. I really thought you were doing something else other than coffee.
So basically, I'm this type of baristas who are really passionate about. I come from a small coffee producing family back in Puerto Rico. So my grandparents have a small farm in Puerto Rico. And for me, coffee is always been in the map. It's like something is normal in your house, right? So they have a farm. I know what feels like running through the cafetales barefoot and just eat like coffee cherries like an apple.
Yeah.
That's the ability they have back in the day when I was in Puerto Rico. So when I went back to college, or when I was in business school, my hobby back in the day was visiting different coffee shops.
Nice.
So I always know about coffee, but I wasn't sure like how is the way you can make coffee.
Yes.
So I started visiting different coffee shops when I was in college. And after that, I was like, I visit different coffee shops, but when I go there, everybody make coffee different. And the same coffee from the same farm in the same, in Puerto Rico, because the bad thing of Puerto Rico is you cannot export or import green coffee, you know? So whatever you produce is whatever you like they drink in the patio. And for us, I don't have the ability to drink coffee from other places until I moved to US. So when I was in college, I was doing that. And I figured it out like, hey, these people do coffee different. Probably I can just learn how to do my coffee
Yeah.
because probably I can do it better than them
Correct.
because they don't like tamp correctly. I don't even know that. But in some occasions, I saw the steamed milk and it was dirty.
Yeah.
But I go to another coffee shops and it was clean. So I was like, I don't know who is doing this in the right way. So in 2014, 14, 15, I started taking classes. So I take Barista 101 and then I take different classes around and then I, met the SCA and started taking classes by SCA. That's why I was in Puerto Rico, living in Puerto Rico, and then I go to New York and take an real SCA class.
Yeah.
Because I was taking classes in coffee shops, but not like a real class. So when I was doing that, I was like, okay, it feels good, but I think they're not good go deep, to the bone. And I'm like, well, maybe I can just go ahead and train in another place. So I do that. I get my regular barista, and as soon you start getting deep in that, in the specialty coffee, it's like a whole spectrum. So now I know how to cup. I have different SDA certifications. I'm learning about like roasting as well. So I'm a home roaster. I'm doing that. I always trying to like share my knowledge and be like really, really good at what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Because I'm not just a typical barista who feels like, oh, this is my part-time job.
Correct.
I'm in college, this is my part-time job. No, for me, it's a profession. So I
Yes.
don't consider myself a barista. I consider myself a coffee professional.
Nice.
because it's not. Sometimes I go to the coffee shop with my TDS and test the water because I don't even have a TDS because they don't see the importance of a TDS in a coffee shop.
Yeah.
So sometimes I just bring my TDS, test the water, say we need to change the filter. Hey, we need to do this, and be on top of that. The coffee shop that help you a lot and meet other people who share the same passion. They make you a better coffee professional. That's for sure.
Nice. So born in a coffee farm in Puerto Rico. How old were you
Yeah.
when you moved out to the United States?
So I moved to US back in 2016, actually. So
Yeah.
I moved here. My mom was here, and I was in college. I finished and everything. I do my thing. And in business, they always teach you to work in somebody else's business.
Yeah.
They don't teach you to, you can have your own business. So
It's the best way to learn, with someone else's knowledge. Someone
exactly,
else has been through it, so it's best for you to learn through what they have
exactly,
been through.
exactly. So when I was visiting different coffee shop back in college, I was like, I want to have my own coffee shop. I want to be able to do things the right way and support the community because I just fall in love with the community. And that's what I'm here, taking some experience, learning from different people. Back in Florida, I was working in the pharmaceutical industry, nothing related to coffee.
Yeah.
But with the money I made there, I have the chance to get my equipment. I get the chance
Yes.
to take in different classes, and that helped me. And little by little, I just save money, take class, save money, buy a book. That's what I'm doing. Just have enough knowledge or enough experience working cafes, and then have my own. If
Yeah.
God help, of course.
Well, how is it growing up in Puerto Rico? I mean, how's the lifestyle over there?
um,
What's
so we are pretty much uh we're Americans. Like
yeah.
we eat the same thing as American with better condiments, pretty much. So we season the meat better than Americans. But yeah, for us, when we move from Puerto Rico to here, we don't have to take a plane. I know nobody cares if we're here, and nobody cares if we are here or back in Puerto Rico because it's pretty much like another state. So growing in Puerto Rico was pretty challenging because when I moved here, I don't know I wasn't know English at all.
Yeah.
And I just been here for 4 years now. And I think I'm doing progress little by little, it's
Yeah, no,
a
your
little
English
process.
your English is really good. I mean, yo también tuve el mismo problema. I mean, I moved out from Mexico, and the first year was really, really rough.
It's tough. It's
Yeah.
tough. It's tough, and people make fun of your accent, or you're the lady with the brown hair.
Yeah.
And then
No.
it's yeah, it's tough. But yeah, going to Puerto Rico is pretty much like being here. So we was living there. We take vacations here in US, so we kind of know the country a little bit. But yeah, honestly, it's been really challenging because you have to adjust your mentality a little bit
Yeah.
because in Puerto Rico it's just, you have to go to the beach every weekend and you just have to live the life. It's pretty chill. Here in the US, you have to work really, really hard to have your things.
Yeah.
You know,
It's a
it's
different lifestyle and different mentality. It's
absolutely,
hard.
yeah. And I think here, the change make you growth as a person, and regardless in which profession you are, they help you to be a better professional in
Yeah.
whichever campus. Absolutely.
I gotta be honest with you though. The Borico accent, I love it. I
I
really
know
do.
it's the best accent ever.
Yeah, dude. My wife and I mean, we just love that accent, dude. It's
Yeah,
amazing.
no, we just sometimes we change the R for an L.
Yeah.
Like instead of saying mi amor, we say mi amor.
Uh huh.
And a lot of people just love that accent. And from Colombian people, for Puerto Ricans, we love the Colombian accent.
Got it.
But the parcero one, parcero, real parcero. And I know a lot of people for Central America, they love the Puerto Rican accent. I
Yeah, dude.
think, yeah, I think it's great.
It is. It is. I mean, I my wife honestly sometimes tries to do it, for me.
But your
It,
wife is Mexican, right?
she's Mexican, yeah.
Oh,
Her and
okay.
I are both Mexican, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But she was actually born and raised here in the United States. I was born and
Okay.
raised in Mexico. Yeah, I met
Got it.
her here.
Got it.
What is one of your earliest memories from Puerto Rico?
So pretty much, I was, you know, I really, really like the weather because here is for me it's cold and
Yeah,
over there it's so warm and the beach is like 5 minutes from home. I have a home and you can walk to the beach in 5 minutes. You know,
yeah. But you're also on the east side of the country. You're on the
true.
east side. So if you want like really nice weather, you have to come down to California.
That's it. Yeah, I had to call you when I went there.
Yeah, dude. I mean,
I need to go to your coffee shop, Mineris.
m-
I need to
m-
go there.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, Manadas is good. I mean, it's definitely one of the coffee shops to visit. But here in LA, I mean, just like in New York, there's a
So
ton,
many, so
so
many.
many, so many. Yeah, in every corner you'll find a coffee shop, and like all the people that I know are working there. So you're not
That's
gonna be disappointed when you visit LA and drink coffee.
no, yeah, it's like it's a lot of people there, and a lot of the people who actually I respect and admire, like Chris Baga, Christopher. It's a lot of people there who been like the old school
Yeah,
specialty coffee industry, and they just pretty much open the gate for other people who can
yeah.
just join them and just follow the path together. Yeah, I can wait to go back to California. That's for sure. It's in my list.
Definitely gotta make it out here. At least next year, hopefully for Coffee Fest. Because
Absolutely.
this year is gonna be impossible to travel.
When
I
is
mean,
it?
uh, in Anaheim, they're doing it in August.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yes.
because I saw something like there was in August, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah, so I think they're doing Anaheim here August in California, but then I think they're also doing one in Chicago.
Yeah, they do one in Chicago as well.
Yeah.
That's it's gonna be pretty interesting. Yeah, but I want to go there because last time I went to California, I went for like 3 days. I was for the Access event, and I didn't have the chance to like pretty much go there because I was in San Diego,
Yeah.
so I didn't have the chance to just go there and just taste different people. I mean, coffee there. So hopefully next time.
So other than opening a coffee shop, what's your ultimate plan since you already come from a family that has coffee?
Mhm.
What what I mean, since you already have the greens, why not
Mhm.
like sell the greens or roast
So
those greens?
yeah, so in the beginning steps is a roastery. So the plan is open an online website that I can roast coffee and sell it online.
Yeah.
And with that profit, I want to get my import license and then start helping producers from Latin America to import the coffee to the US. That's the goal. Ultimately that's the last step on my path, or my goals are opening the real coffee shop because I want to like get the roaster first, then the import license, and then the coffee shop. So it's a
Right.
really long path. I will start learning. Uh, Obviously, it's kind of tough. When I started roasting coffee, they told me, "Oh, roasting coffee is like cooking steak," and I'm like, that's not. This is not the. Thank you for the analogy, but it's not the same thing
It is
because I
definitely
know how
not.
to cook a steak, and you don't have those chemical reaction as roasting coffee.
Yeah. I mean,
So
it's not as easy as people make it seem to see. I mean,
seems
yeah, because you I mean, it's not as easy as just following a recipe, right? You cannot just cook your coffee the same way every single time.
exactly.
Like, I don't know, your roaster could change in heat, and all that stuff.
Hmm.
But tell me about your mom and dad. I mean, they're the ones who owned the farm back in Puerto Rico.
My grandparents.
Your grandparents.
My grandparents are now. My grandma is a little bit sick. My grandpa is still in the country with her. My dad is taking care of them. pretty much. My mom is in US, but yes, ultimately, they're pretty old. So they have the farm, but they pretty much can take care of the farm as before,
Yeah.
because before they just have the farm and they just collect the cherries and go to the mill and
Yes.
do the coffee process there. But ultimately, Puerto Rico, Puerto Rico have a law which pretty much don't allow to import or export green coffee. So in order to do that, you have to pretty much like how do you say that, enmendar, like cambiar the law, and then be able to import or export greens from the
Wow.
country. So
So at
that's something
this,
the government made.
yeah. So at this moment, you cannot export the coffee. You're saying?
From Puerto Rico, if you want to do like for boat, like by boat, like
Yeah.
legally, you're not allowed to do it.
Wow.
If you do it like by plane using USPS, then you can do it. But like the way like gonna be like really really expensive
But
because
what about roasting in Puerto Rico and selling online?
so pretty much you can just go, for example, like if I go to Puerto Rico and open my roastery in Puerto Rico, I cannot get coffee from Colombia. I cannot get coffee from Ethiopia. I cannot get coffee from other countries besides Puerto Rico.
Oh man,
You
that's
know,
that's
I
hard.
have to, if I open my business in Puerto Rico, I have to collect and roast and sell coffee beans from Puerto Rico in Puerto Rico.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's that's harsh.
it's because in Puerto Rico in the 1950, 1960, Puerto Rico sold a lot of coffee. So the movement of the economy was based on coffee and sugarcane. So to avoid the government lose that, they decided to put a law. But the law is not working anymore because when you're coming from a coffee producing family, the first thing they teach you is I don't want you to work in the land. I want you to be a doctor. I want you to be a lawyer. I want you to be an engineer. They never teach you, hey, you can just go to the farm and make money based on the farm. It's this culture of hey, you have to be better. You have to get a job office. You
Yeah.
know,
No,
that's what they teach
I was
my mom,
definitely
for example.
I was definitely raised in that kind of culture too, and so I guess my dad always worked in restaurant businesses, and
Mhm.
he's the one that introduced me to the restaurant business. So that's the reason
Okay.
why I started working as a server. And
Okay.
then back in 2008, 17, towards the end of 2017 is when I fell in love with coffee. I saw a video on YouTube and a chef making a latte art, and I fell in love with it. But you think you changed your goals when you were in college because you knew that your grandparents had the coffee farm? You think it was an easier decision to just follow coffee?
So pretty much, I wasn't when I begin. I wasn't sure. Like I know I want to have a business, and I wanted to be my own, my own boss. But I wasn't sure in which type of business I want to get in, right? And then it's not until I get to a specialty coffee, I knew, hey, maybe I can just work in this, you know,
Yeah.
and I just like started learning from that, and was hard because like in Puerto Rico they tell you, hey, you have to go to school, okay, you have to get your degree, and you have to be what I say, a doctor or engineer, and then go, move to US and make double the amount of money that you can make in Puerto Rico. You know, that's the vision of Puerto Rico because it's so easy for us get in and out of US because our citizenship.
Yeah.
um, it's so easy for us. So it's like, and you go in Puerto Rico, you get your degree in Puerto Rico, and with the same diploma, you come here and start like, working with the same diploma because we are regulated by USA. So for
Right.
us, it was so fast and easy to be like, hey, I'm just gonna learn, like go to school in Puerto Rico and then move. That's always pretty much like 70% of the young students, they're doing that.
Thanks.
you know so it's hard for other people stay in the island. It's not impossible, but it's hard for other people to stay in the island when they see more opportunities to be here in US.
No, yeah, I mean that's the whole goal. Even from Mexico, My dad moved out here first because, yeah, I mean, the it's sort of like the American dream, right? Move over here, make a lot of money, and
Mhm.
provide a better
Pay a lot
life.
of taxes.
Yeah, bro, I mean, they don't talk about that when they're moving out here, but yeah,
No, they don't tell you about that. I paid $2,000 this back in March for
yeah,
taxes. I
yeah.
was
No,
like, oh my gosh.
this year I have to pay taxes too, which is
I
not
always
good.
have get reimbursement, and this time I had like, oh my gosh. But
Yeah,
it's part of being here. But yeah, in Puerto Rico they have this culture of you have to do better, and you have to be better, and you have to, if you want to do that in Puerto Rico, if you had like a lot of money, you can you can pretty much live like a king.
yeah.
Here it's different.
Well, who motivates you to keep going, to like learning, going to classes and all that?
So actually, my mom, she helped me a lot. When I first I remember that we was together in a coffee shop, and I told her like I saw a coffee shop, and she was like, "Oh, I know you like this. Probably could you can just do something about." And I was like, "I want to have my own coffee shop." That's what I told her. And
Yeah,
since then, she just support me like every single time. If I need like $50 for a plane ticket to go to we say Colorado and get a class there, she helped me out. So she's been super super supportive on that. Same thing with my dad. We're coming from a really like united family, so we are pretty close, and
nice.
that's really really good because you get the support. You get the support for them. And I know if my grandma was really in like mentally good because she have Alzheimer. If she was mentally good, I know she will support me the same way because she was a coffee producer, and really back in your head when you have your grandkid who is working in coffee as well, just like you 50 years ago, you will feel pretty proud of that,
Yeah,
because it's you can reflect your she can reflect herself on me
yeah.
just because of coffee.
No, I think everybody in our families, our parents always want the best for us. So
Hmm.
when they see us succeed or doing something, they are always really proud.
Absolutely. Yeah.
What
She
about the
supports me a lot.
yeah? What about the people you look up to?
So I admire a few people. Like I have this philosophy of admire is a thing and respect is another thing. You know, I can just respect I can respect you when I don't even know you because I know you're a barista and I know you work with Christopher. I just like, okay, I respect you. I admire people like Ageshka, the Polish girl who like won the first
Correct.
championship woman, and that is she just opened a gate for women.
Mm-hmm.
And be a Latino woman in US is not easy, you know. Be a tough one like me is not easy either.
Yeah.
So I think those type of people you just admire them because of their resilience. They just have they make a mistake or they don't perform the best way. They come the next year and do it again and do
Yeah.
it again and do it again. And I think those type of people who you don't know them, you send them a DM and they answer you. Really nice and really polite. And when you just met them in person and they're really nice with you and they treat you good, I admire you because of that. I
Yeah.
admire you because of what you do, not what do you have
Correct.
in your pockets or in your, achieve wall with your diplomas and stuff. I admire you because the way you treat me and what you do for the industry. I think that's something we have to admire and respect.
Yeah. Well, if you had the opportunity to sit down with someone in life to drink a coffee or even have dinner with, who would that person be?
I think Chris Baca.
Chris Baca.
Yeah.
Why him?
Okay. Um. First of all, he's really good on what he's doing. You know,
Yeah.
he had this mindset like a businessman. You know,
Yeah.
you can compare him to Bezos from Amazon.
Yeah,
And
Jeff
I'm pretty sure
Bezos.
they have the same damn IQ. Like they're both so. And Chris Baca is always like sketchers and jeans and short pants, and he's always with tight and like dress up and everything. But I think like Chris Baca, he is from old school. I really love that. He had his podcast is great as
Yeah,
well,
yeah, yeah,
and he just built a really nice relationship with the employees. You can feel it. Some coffee shop or some business owner of coffee, they don't even have that relationship with the employees. You are my employee. You just have to do whatever I have to tell you, and you just have to follow it. For him, feels like we can just have a really long conversation of terms of business, advice, knowledge, and he's a roaster. He cup coffee. He go to La Marzocco and have partnership with La Marzocco, and I'm a huge La Marzocco fan. So like I think I can get dinner with him for sure. Like I think we can just be hours and hours and talking because he's so good at what he's doing. And I think he's a really, really successful business owner in terms of coffee.
yeah,
Because being coffee is not easy. You are not gonna be rich. You have to understand that. If you come into the business to be rich, gonna cost you a lot of years. You
yeah.
know, Blue Bottle started the business after like 15, 20 years for millions or millions after 20 years. It's nothing that you build one day for the other. And I think Chris Parker is doing that follow path. He always compete in barista championship to US and always goes second or third and with Ruby, and he just like they just go along and forget about the competition and just go along and just work each other. And okay, you're gonna do the business and I'm gonna manage the roastery and I'm gonna manage this and that. And I think that's pretty nice. I think, and he read a lot too. And I read a lot. I
He
read a
does.
lot of business. Yeah, I read a lot of business books, Spanish or English, because I think knowledge is power. You know,
Yeah,
knowledge is something that you can share with other people, but nobody can take it away from you. You know, and I think that's magical.
yeah. But well, I think you and Chris Buck, I mean, are pretty much following the same path, right? I mean, he's a roaster as well. You
Mm-hmm.
like roasting. Your family has a coffee business,
Yeah, he inspired
and
me a lot.
yeah, and then I mean, he got the opportunity to get together with two of his friends, and they open a coffee shop. So who knows?
True.
Maybe you can find someone else you can go in business with,
Who knows, right? If we can do what he makes, Juan. You're not how it's called. You're not like far.
right? Call out Body Max Cafe.
What he makes cafe, yeah, and slash roastery
Yeah.
for sure.
What's one
Absolutely.
What's one question if you had only one chance to ask Chris Baca one question, what would that question be?
Oof. Mm, wow, it's intense. Just one question.
Just one question. It's like you only get one shot, and this is it. Like,
It's hard. It's hard because I want to ask a lot of roasting stuff.
yeah,
um, I will say, how keep like motivating to do stuff every single day. You know, not in terms of give up. You know, give up is a thing, and motivation is another thing. And yeah, how to keep motivating every single time because it's not easy,
yep,
and manage people is not easy.
not at all.
And he just like keep pushing hard and hard and hard, and I need the recipe for that.
Yeah,
I think he just have like a really really good background in coffee knowledge personally, and I really like, yeah, probably just gonna be that one. How you keep motivation every single day.
yeah. I mean, it's hard, right? Even for him, like what we see, because every time I see his YouTube videos, like the way he talks, the way he presents everything, and teaches everything he has learned, through his experiences,
Yeah,
it's like he's so hype, like he's so
he's
energetic.
always up. He's always
Yeah,
on top. You never saw him like tired. Even when I think hip or
He's,
his
he's
um
I no, he had a surgery on one of his toes.
something like that. I know he broke something or have a surgery, and he just like 2 weeks after he was using his thing.
Yeah.
How is called patineta, um,
Skateboard.
skateboard. I'm like,
Yeah.
how you have to get dressed, and
Yeah.
he just like keep adding and adding because he has so much energy, and I admire that for him.
Mm, nice. And when you're sitting with him, what are you guys gonna eat?
Well, we can get, well, I don't know what we can eat, but I know what we can drink.
Coffee.
We can we can just eat some drink some whiskey together.
Well,
Yeah,
what is some of your favorite dishes?
I love Puerto Rican food. I think I'm
You're into the homofongo thing and all that stuff.
yes, I'm so Latina and I'm so like for food in terms of food. Uh my one of my ultimate goals when I'm 45 or 50 years old is take like a real class for chef and have all my equipment in my house. I start doing my thing. I have my commercial like pan and my whisk and my stuff because I'm sort of like getting that because I love cooking. Like for me, that's really really good because I disconnect of everything. And is if you get burned if you only do one thing. If you're always doing coffee, you're just
Yeah.
gonna get burned even if you love it.
Yeah.
You're just gonna get burned, so you have to like do something else. For me, like, my kitchen is my sanctuary, it's my oasis. It's a place I can just cook for myself or cook for somebody else. And for me, sharing a plate is like sharing a cup of coffee. You made it with so much love, and see that person that you give this plate or this cup of coffee and they just enjoy it. I think that's a really sign of love. They just serve coffee or serve a plate of pasta or mofongo and be just like, this is for you, and just eat them. And so the person eat it or drinking at the in the table feels good because I made that,
Yeah.
and they're enjoying it because you made it with
Nice.
love and care.
Nice. Yeah.
You know, for me, if you don't do anything with love from the bottom of your heart, it's better if you don't do anything. Just watch Netflix. Don't. Yeah, if you're not going to do something with love, just say no. Don't waste other people's time.
Yeah.
If you
Just
ask
a
me for
waste of energy too.
if you ask me for a plate of mofongo, and I'm gonna be mashing the plantain like that, and just say there you are,
It's not gonna taste as good.
it's not gonna taste good, even if
Yeah.
you use the same ingredients over and over,
Yeah.
and you will feel the care and the love that I put in your plate.
Yeah.
You know,
It's the
that's
representation.
for me. Yeah, for me, that's the best feeling in the world. Yeah,
Maybe. What about the one dish you wish that it didn't exist?
didn't exist. We have something which is pretty much those jam in the container.
No.
It's
Nobody.
it's it's jamonilla. Jamonilla. It's like pretty much like a mix of jam that you just put in a container. It's meat, and they mix it with like a jelly of pineapple jelly, and they mix it with cream cheese, and they make like a bowl, and they just eat that. I wish that doesn't exist in Puerto Rico. It's called bola de fuego.
Bola de fuego.
Oh, it tastes like crap.
Oh man.
I'm so embarrassed. When you go to a quinceañera or a birthday or even a weddings, they do that. And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh, those people have no taste.
Man.
Oh my god, that's so bad.
All
I
right.
wish nobody create that plate ever again.
So if I ever go to Puerto Rico or I ever go to a Puerto Rican place,
You
bola de
you have to
fuego.
tell me. I have to go there as soon as possible. This pandemic
I will
and
never. I will stay away from bola de fuego.
por favor, por favor. No, that's you. After this, you have to Google it, and you will see like looks like, with all your respect, like vomit
Yeah.
because of the jelly on top. Oh my gosh, no. Don't. But
Crazy.
like they have different dishes. They look good. They taste amazing. Yeah, I think that's great. Puerto Rican
Yil,
food is really really good.
Yil,
But I
what it
love
seems
sushi too.
it seems like you do a lot of things, right? You are a barista, you roast,
Hmm.
you I've seen that you have some YouTube videos,
Yeah.
you know. How did that start?
So pretty much this, when I was out there looking for information in my language, which is Spanish, I saw this gigantic gap between English speakers and Spanish speakers. And I visited Mexico, and I pretty much people in Mexico don't speak too much English.
Yeah.
I went to Mexico to take some coffee classes back in 2017, and everything was in Spanish. They they told me like this the steamed milk. Oh, this is called lanceta, and I'm like, I'm sorry, what? Because you don't know the terms. Like I learned the language and I learned the coffee anatomy in English.
Yeah.
And you went there and they teach in Spanish, and I went to Costa Rica and they teach in Spanish as well. And it's like, this is a huge, huge gap, and we need to like close that gap a little bit, that gigantic gap, because a lot of baristas out there they only speak Spanish.
Yeah.
But they are really, really, really good baristas, and they are really, really good roasters. And for me, learning both language helped me a lot because I can just connect the dots and be like, hey, let's share this information on Spanish for Spanish speakers because they need the information in Spanish because they won't be able to learn the language first, which is, they have to learn English. And then after that, on top, you have to learn whatever coffee material you're learning.
Yeah.
And it's tough for them. So I was like, even if I feel privileged because I know both languages, they don't. And it's something you can just close the gap a little bit and feels better when you just share some knowledge with everybody and they told you, oh, I didn't even know that. Oh, it's because that's in English. But we are
Yeah.
here for you.
It's amazing. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
how do you find time to do all this? Like
I don't even know. I'm really organized. Like pretty much like everything. I like tied up. I like Marie Kondo, the Japanese lady.
no.
Okay, so Marie Kondo is like a lady. She's Chinese, right, or Japanese or whatever. She's Asian, and she just help you how to tie up your house and be like
Uh,
super organized and
okay.
like develop your OCD in a better way. So I just learned from that, and I started watching her show like 2 years ago, and since then I have a structure. I know what I have to do by day, and I have like tiempo de ocio when I'm doing
Yeah.
nothing, just watch Netflix or just watch a movie. But I like trying to like, structure myself and be like, okay, Mondays I'm gonna roast, Thursdays, Tuesdays I have to cut the coffee, and then Wednesday my rest day, and then I always have to do something
Yeah.
because be out there when you don't have like talent, you have to burn your ass a little bit. You have to work really hard
Well,
if you want something.
I think that's part of like being motivated, right? Like
Exactly. Yeah, for me,
staying
don't feel
busy,
like a
staying
job.
active. Yeah.
Hmm.
Do you can you fit any hobbies in that time? Do you have any hobbies?
So besides reading, which I like scrapbook.
Scrapbook.
So I'm not a creative person in terms of, for example, latte art. I can't do that too much. So I'm doing that. I like scrapbook because I take pictures and I just put it with nice papers and just they last pretty much forever.
Yeah.
And I that's my creative thing. With scrapbook, I like scrapbook a lot. I have my bike. I run my bike once in a while. Um, just this is my hobbies. I don't have too much to do because I don't have time. As a barista, I have two jobs. As a barista, so I work 6 days a week and have
Dang.
just one day off. Yeah, you had just one day off, and that's days like clean, cook, whatever, and then just prepare yourself to the week and just doing that. But yeah, if you feel motivated enough, you make time because I read one time, if you want something, you have to work 2 hours daily for that goal.
Yeah.
So compared to other people, they work 8 hours a week. I mean, a day. you have to work 10 hours a day if you want to accomplish something. And if I want to be a good roaster and have my business and be a better coffee professional, I just have to make some sacrifices. It's hard, but it's not impossible.
What about your love life? How does that look?
Oh my goodness, single as hell. I'm kidding. No, no, no. No, I'm single. I have a boyfriend. We just broke up when I moved from Florida to here.
Wait, so you had a boyfriend in Puerto Rico?
No, no,
Or
no, no. I live here, dude. How am I gonna have a
no, no, no,
boyfriend
yeah,
there?
but I thought you said like when you moved. So I
No,
didn't
no, no.
know.
When I moved from Florida,
Oh,
because
from
I
Florida.
was living in Florida and I moved last August
Okay,
to Maryland, and I just like moved there. And after that, we just like pretty much like broke up. So,
man,
but
that's
it's
sad.
good because they give me some time.
Yeah.
They give me some time to like do my thing, which is good.
But I'm pretty sure he supported everything you were doing. That's a different conversation.
Yeah, that's no, it's not that. No, but again, I think like he just means that I think I'm a good person, and I think I'm an amazing woman as well. So I can just like we are not the best. If maybe sometimes people are just there to teach you something,
Yeah.
and after they teach you something, it's time to them to go away. So apparently that's why. But hopefully I find my boy pretty soon. I don't know when
Who
it's
knows?
time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
When it's time, absolutely.
When you least expect it, it's gonna come around.
You can imagine.
Yeah.
Hopefully a coffee guy.
Well,
Unfortunately, Chris Pack is married. I'm sorry.
yeah,
If he
that's
wasn't married, I
too
can just go
bad.
there. What do you say?
So too bad you already lost
Yeah,
your chance.
shame on me. Shame on me.
And when you're on bar, and you guys play music, do you have like a specific type of music you like to listen to?
So here I don't speak Spanish pretty much to other people. Like I work in a really American area. All my neighbors are predominantly white, so I don't have like I don't speak Spanish anywhere here. Just with my family pretty much, and I don't want to forget about Spanish, because sometimes you're talking and you say start talking Spanish, 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 and you forget about your roots. You
Yeah.
forget about I this is the name of this item in Spanish, and that's why I try to listen to music in Spanish at all time. So Ricardo Arjona, he's my favorite artist at all time. He's from Guatemala. He's great. Like he's great. I don't know if you know him. He's
Yeah,
awesome.
definitely know him.
He's awesome. He's awesome. And Nita Nazario, which is another artist in Puerto Rico. She's really really good as well. But I like Spanish, like rock on Spanish. I really like that too. But yeah, pretty much trying to listen Spanish music because in the cafes you only listen to English music
Yeah.
because your coworkers are American, so they don't speak the language. So I have to just when I'm at home or like driving here, I hear a podcast, which is a lot of coffee podcasts around there, really really good.
Yeah.
Or like trying to like listen music on Spanish.
Nice.
So I like music when I'm cooking. I put my music, drink my whiskey or my wine, and just doing that when I'm cooking, and it feels great.
¿Y el reggaetón? ¿Qué tal el
Of
reggaetón?
course, no reggaeton always, always reggaeton.
Who's your favorite artist in reggaeton?
De la ghetto.
En la
I'm
ghetto.
old school. I'm a millennial with an old school heart. For me, De La Ghetto, Daddy Yankee, Arcángel,
And Nicky Jam.
Nicky Jam. He's good. I think he's good, but I don't like. He's too commercial for me.
Yeah.
I like more underground.
Did you get to watch his documentary on
I
Netflix?
did. I think it was pretty deep.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You
Yeah, I
enjoyed
think it
it?
was pretty deep. Yeah, pretty deep. Talking about your life, like around the world.
All those
Everybody can
struggles.
see that.
Yeah.
It was intense. I
Yeah.
wasn't expecting to say that much drug.
Man, that was hardcore.
It's like, wow, this guy, I don't know how he got a nose still. Because he's like, oh my gosh.
Well, what kind of music you like to dance to?
Oh my gosh. So I'm not a dancer. I
You're
never
not a
know
dan-
how to I never learned how to do salsa. I never know how to do merengue. I have to be super, super, super happy or super drunk to dance. And I'm not a good dancer. Yeah, yeah. I'm like stuck. I'm doing like this, but I can't. I can't do anymore. I'm just like
Yeah.
I never learned. I don't have the swing. I don't have anything. I don't have ritmo either. So it's like
You just have to get together with someone and start practicing.
yes, my mom told me the same. My mom she even know how to dance salsa. My brother, pretty much merengue, and I'm like, good for you. I don't know. I have to learn. I should learn, but it's so hard for me. I don't have the ring. Those dun dun dun. I can't. I mean, I have to practice. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna say I can't. I'm just gonna say I have to practice because I'm super bad. I don't have
Well,
talent for that.
what about any hidden talents that something you can do and you don't like the rest of the world knowing? Spill it right here, right now.
Honestly, I don't. I try to like. I don't have a like hidden talent. Honestly, it's just
Like,
I'm more like an open book. You know.
yeah.
Um, but I do a lot of stuff, and a lot of people know what I'm doing. But like I don't have any talent that like, oh, I'm really good doing.
There's
I don't know.
probably something you can do that not the rest of the world can do, or a percentage of the world can't do.
Uh, I don't even know. Honestly, it's hard. I probably I'm start looking around my room. I'm like, no idea. It's so hard
I
because
don't know, like bending, like rolling your tongue into like a taco, or like your.
some people do like that. My tongue is not long enough. It's like no, nothing. I barely can stretch myself.
Nice.
It's I don't know. I don't have any hidden talent so far. Probably
So
next if we have another conversation, I will be like, you know what? I found my talent. Who knows?
yeah. Well, what
Yeah.
about how do you feel about the our new 2020 New York latte art champion?
So it's a lot of proud because obviously he's my compatriota. He's Puerto Rican as well, born and raised there in the island. Um, but yeah, I think what's about time to we have a Latino presence
Yeah.
there. I think to be Latino is something people have to feel proud of the heritage. And he's been working in coffee for like 3 years
Got it.
or four and accomplished that goal who
Yeah.
looks that far. I think it's awesome. You know, a lot of barista out there trying and trying and they can accomplish the goal. People with more experience, people who work in cafe every single day, they can accomplish that goal.
Yeah.
And he just did it the second try,
Well,
because
let alone all the people he competed against. I mean, there were some really, really strong competitors.
of course, yes, a lot of Asian people are there and they come with those amazing pictures. I think some people even brought their milk and I'm like, what? Are you crazy? Bring your milk from China or whatever or Korea.
Yeah.
And they're really, really good. It's something they just I think when you accomplish that goal, you're in a different step, in your life. You're in a different stage. And for him, I'm proud of him, regardless of anything, regardless of other people say, because some people could see like, oh, he's not good enough. Some people could say, oh, he's not good enough, or he don't burn his ass as much as Chinese people or whatever. And for him, accomplish the goal. I think they put Puerto Rico in the spotlight and they put the Latinos on spotlight because
Yeah.
there's a lot of Latinos who compete in the latte art, but unfortunately they can't make it that far, you know.
Yep.
And for him, be a Latino and be Puerto Rican and be there and represent all Latinos all over the world, I think that's great. That just open a gate, and we need to be thankful about that because he can just give up, and he always uh, you know, direct the attention to Puerto Rico or direct the attention to Latinos. And he trying to speak Spanish when he's doing that. So I think that people can change the mentality a little bit and be like, oh, it's a Latino community out there who be able to perform really good latte art. They can perform, they can be really good baristas. They can be a championship barista if they want, roasters. I think they open the spotlight, that's for sure. I'm pretty proud of him,
No,
regardless
yeah.
of what people say. Yeah,
Oh, yeah, when
regardless of what people say.
I was there on Sunday. Was it Sunday?
Yeah.
Monday. I was there on Monday when he won. And like you said, I didn't know him. You know, I only follow him on Instagram.
Uh-huh.
But
I love Instagram. It's my favorite
yeah,
social media ever.
yeah. So I was there, and like, you know, he was moving up, and he was he was at the finals. And then I was when he put his pour down, I saw how confident he felt, you know. And yeah, like you said, I started feeling a little proud, you know, just him being a Latino and stuff. I was like,
Yeah.
man, I don't know you, but like,
I
you're the
love you
one.
already.
Yeah, you're the
And
one
he's
I'm
such a
rooting for.
yeah, he's so charming, and he's just like a nice person. And yeah, for me, like I don't think he realized he was in the top 10 and then
Yeah,
top 5 and then top 3. I don't think he realized that until the last 4, because he reflects so much confidence when he
yeah,
was doing that. And it's like how you can be so sure of what you're doing and feel like so relaxed. I was scared of shit, because I'm I could be like, oh shit, I'm competing against these people who come every single year to every single coffee fest just to beat people,
yeah,
and I'm winning. I'm winning, and that's great. I think that's such a good goal for him personally, because that opened the door for him to get more possibilities,
yeah. A lot.
and for him to have more opportunities.
Correct.
Because in Puerto Rico, I don't know if you know, the minimum wage is $7.25.
Man, that's
I
low.
know it's low. I think it's the lowest in all US. You know, and for him, for baristas in Puerto Rico, being a minimum wage, that's something you have to deal with because nobody give you a raise. In Puerto Rico, you pretty much don't have tips. They don't tips as well here as in US. You
Yeah.
know, and that opened the door for him to have a name in the industry. And now everybody know Henry Berrios. Everybody know him because what he accomplished. And that's something I told him, like, this is a door you just open little by little with your hard work,
Yeah.
and you will be rewarded because of that. You will get some advantage of this. So
You
just
see,
don't give up.
you have to hurry up and open your coffee shop so you can bring him over and hire him.
You can imagine him. Oh my gosh, I will put in the door Henry Berrios Latte Art Champion
Yeah.
in the door.
Yeah. Tell him to
Oh,
bring his trophy so you can put it in your coffee shop.
yes, next to the tea jar. No, but I think he's great, and he's great, and a lot of Puerto Ricans who fly to New York to compete as Gerald. Gerald is another
Yeah.
amazing
Man,
barista.
Gerald's
He's
vibe,
a beast.
attitude. He's full of energy.
I
You know.
love him. I love him.
Yeah.
He's so good. They fly like two Puerto Ricans there, like to compete. Was Emmanuel Ayala, Gerald, and Henry. They're three musketeers of Puerto Rico. Like they trying to little by little build a community in Puerto Rico of specialty coffee, because we don't have a specialty coffee community in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
We don't do classes as well like in here in US. We don't have a lot of things like here. Like for example, those for the pour overs, they're like the tower of the water.
Aeropress or no?
No, the tower. It's like
Oh,
it's like a box with the water. You
yeah,
just
yeah,
open.
yeah.
That we don't have that in Puerto Rico. People use a mini stove to heat the water,
Wow.
and when you have 10 pour overs to get done, you only have that.
Yeah.
So in terms of equipment, materials, mindset, is so different compared to here,
Okay.
because they are so delayed on the culture, like for 10 years.
Yeah.
They keep using the same recipe for espressos every single time. They
Nice.
don't dial in espresso correctly or in advanced way as we do here, because they are a little bit delayed. And for them, for Henry and Gerald, they just trying to build this community in Puerto Rico. So that's why they do throwdowns. That's why they do cup ins, and that's why they trying to build a relationship there. and trying to build a community. So I think that's pretty admirable for them.
Yeah, that's definitely.
Yeah, yeah. When you see that the comparison is like, okay, when you go to Puerto Rico, you have to, obviously you have to let me know first, because you have to go to with Sandra. Sandra will love it. And they have a few Mexican restaurants. I don't think they're authentic Mexican restaurant, but
Okay.
not as LA, because they have way too many.
Well, why don't you
But
tell us? Why don't you tell us where can people find you?
so they can find me on social media. Is my name is Yil Gonzales with Z. And they are every in social media. I'm just same name, same profile picture. That way nobody miss me. But yeah, that's I have my like YouTube channel, social media. I try to like just share what I
So
get.
your YouTube channel is the same as your social media?
Yes,
Got it.
Consistency is key.
Yeah.
Consistency is key for like everything. But yeah, social media, same name, on Instagram as well, and on YouTube as well, because I like consistency, and second, people just can find you really fast that way.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, this was a great conversation, you. I mean, you're full of
Appreciate it.
knowledge. Yeah, I really appreciate you taking the time and
Absolutely.
letting me talk to you for a little bit.
Yeah, finally we can just go along a little bit, a little bit better, because in New York, I remember like we don't talk too much because we was like super busy, and then we have this small throwdown in our coffee shop, and we just like talk a little bit. And was
Yeah.
pretty nice.
Yeah, no, this is definitely that's the whole reason of this platform, just to get to know each other a
I
little
love it.
more. And for all of our barista friends to just get to know you a little bit more too.
Absolutely. And I think I appreciate you for initiative of doing that. I think a lot of baristas out there just come along with the podcast. I I like the concept. I was reading to the road barista.
Rogue barista, yeah.
The guy from I think he's from New York, right?
No, he's from here in LA. He's
He's from LA. Okay.
Yeah.
I always thought he's from New York.
No, he flew out there to compete too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because he seems like he knows everybody. I was like, are you from here or like what?
It's the power of social
I
media.
listen to podcast. Yes, and I like the structure of your podcast. So yeah, don't give up. And I think it's a really good platform
Yeah.
for other people just to like come here and just talk about the experience they life. And I think this it's a way to like build relationship with other people.
Yeah. No, I mean, once people hear this out and they know you a little bit more, so the next time they see you, they're like, oh yeah, you're
I
roasting
remember
coffee.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think this is all about networking and a lot of like just know each other genuinely, not asking for anything, just be genuinely and be like, hey, I just want to like talk about your experience, your background, your coffee knowledge or whatever. And I think those platforms are really, really great to be able to do that. A lot of people they just it's because you have to do this in order to get that.
Yeah.
And here I think it's a genuine interest of the community, and I personally appreciate that. I appreciate your time as well doing this podcast.
No, likewise. I really appreciate your time for doing this with me.
Anytime.
Well, I can't wait till we meet again, Jill.
Yes,
So
I need
hopefully
to go to Cali.
hopefully
that's for sure.
soon. Yeah, hopefully soon we'll
Hopefully
get
soon.
together. Yeah.
Absolutely.
All righty. Well, I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Juan.